So once again, welcome back. Good morning to all. In the first lecture of our course, which is nothing but introduction to non-conventional energy sources. And in the last lecture, we discussed in detail about the syllabus of this course. So if you see the university pattern, we are having total 6 units in this course. Unit 1 deals with the energy scenario and what are the different types of energy sources which are available in the world or which are available in India for the generation of electrical energy under the domain of conventional and under the domain of non-conventional category. Then unit number 2 deals with the concept of solar radiation geometry, its calculation, then how to collect solar radiation using different collector, and finally we are going to learn in detail about the applications of those collected solar radiation, maybe say direct or maybe say indirect. Then unit number 3 deals with the concept of wind energy conversion system, various component of WECS, then applications of wind energy conversion system, and finally we are going to learn different types of electrical scheme which are commonly implemented in the domain of wind energy depending upon various operating conditions like whether the frequency is constant, speed is variable, or speed is constant, frequency is variable, and vice versa. Then unit number 4 deals with the concept of geothermal energy and tidal energy. There we are going to learn in detail about the concept of geothermal, what are the potential sites where we can have the flexibility to generate electrical energy through geothermal aspect. Then we are going to learn the concept of tidal power plant, components of tidal power plant, classification of tidal power plant, applications, and again site selections for the same. Then unit number 5 deals with the overall aspect related to nuclear energy, nuclear power plant, different types of reactors, their applications, advantages and disadvantages. And the last unit of this course deals with the concept of biomass, bioenergy, and what are the different techniques through which we can generate different types of fuel like ethanol. So this is what the overall syllabus of this course which we have discussed in the last lecture. And I told you that what book you have to refer for this course, like you may refer Chetan Singh Solanki, Solar Photovoltaic, or Fundamentals of Solar Photovoltaic by Professor Chetan Singh Solanki, or Joshua on इसका एक book है, that is Wind Power Technology का. Then Non-Conventional Energy Resources by Professor B.H. Khan, वो भी book आप refer कर सकते हैं. Non-Conventional Energy Resources by Professor G.D. Rai, वो भी आप एक book refer कर सकते हैं. तो ये सभी हमने लास्ट लेक्चर में डिस्कस किया था, बरोबर है?
Yes, sir.
Good. So in this session, or you can say in this lecture, we are going to start our exact syllabus of this course, and we will start from unit number 2. So unit number 2 deals with solar radiation geometry and its application. So if you see the syllabus of this unit, basically it is classified into 3 main categories. In first, we are going to learn in detail about the concept of solar radiation. What is solar radiation? What are the different aspects to represent solar radiation? Then what is the philosophy behind solar radiation geometry that we are going to learn, and how to calculate solar radiation on a tilt surface. What is the mechanism behind it that we are going to learn. Then in second, we are going to learn what are the different types of mechanism through which we can collect those solar radiations. That means we are going to learn in detail about the classifications of solar energy collector, and then in the third domain we are going to learn the applications of solar energy, or you can say solar radiation. So introduction. Now we know that sun radiate energy in the form of electromagnetic radiations in all possible directions, and whatever the energy which we receive on the surface of earth, that we are going to utilize for different purpose in order to fulfill our basic needs. And if you see some specific facts related to the output power of sun, so the output power of sun is around 3.839 into 10 to the power 23 kilowatt per year, or simply it is 3.839 into 10 to the power 26 watt per year. That means this much amount of power is generated by the sun per year. And how much amount of energy which we receive on the surface of earth per year is 1.5 into 10 to the power 18 kilowatt hour per year, or simply it is 1.5 into 10 to the power 21 watt hour per year. That means this much amount of power is generated by the sun per year, and this much amount of power which we receive on the surface of earth per year. Now the question is, we are having this much amount of energy which we are continuously receiving on the surface of earth from the sun. So how to utilize this energy? That means what we are going to do with the help of this energy. So basically whatever the energy which we receive from the sun on the surface of earth, that we are going to utilize in two different aspects. Number one is nothing but direct utilization, and second one is nothing but indirect utilization. When I say that we are trying to utilize the energy which we receive on the surface of earth from sun via direct utilization mode, that means we are straight away utilizing that energy without converting its form. That means we are not going to convert its form. We are not going to change the form of energy. If the energy is available in the form of heat, or you can say in the form of some thermal system, so directly we are trying to find some applications where we can utilize that energy without change its form. The best example is solar water heater. So सोलर वाटर हीटर में हम लोग क्या करेंगे कि सोलर के थ्रू या फिर सन के थ्रू जो एनर्जी हमारे पास अवेलेबल है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ say heat energy, directly we are going to utilize that energy without converting its form. In the same way, there is another aspect or domain to have the application, or you can say utilization of that energy, that is nothing but indirect utilization. Now in this category, what we are going to do, we are going to first convert the energy available from the sun, which is normally in the form of heat energy, we are converting into some another useful energy, and normally we convert that energy into electrical one, and then that form of energy we are going to utilize for different applications. The best example is solar photovoltaic system. So solar photovoltaic system is nothing but a device which directly convert the input solar energy into output electrical energy, and then depending upon our applications, or you can say utilization, that energy we are going to use for different applications. Maybe to run some electrical appliances, it may be a fan, it may be a load, or it may be any DC machine. Suppose you are interested to run an AC machine, then in that case we need to convert that DC power into AC with the help of inverter, and then provide as an input to your AC load. So basically we are having only two ways, or you can say methodology, to utilize the energy which we are receiving on the surface of earth from the sun. Either we need to go for direct utilization, or we need to go for indirect utilization. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good, good. So I want you to write down this factor. The output power of sun is 3.839 into 10 to the power 23 kilowatt per year, or you can write 3.839 10 to the power 26 watt per year. This value you have to remember. This we are going to utilize for the mathematical calculation of solar constant. So वहां पर हम लोगों को ये फैक्टर याद रखना पड़ेगा, तो आप ये नोट डाउन कर लो. The output power of sun is 3.839 10 to the power 23 kilowatt per year, or simply 10 to the power 26 watt per year. नोट डाउन कर लिया?
हाँ सर.
Okay, good. Then let us try to discuss some fundamental aspect related to sun. We know that sun is nothing but the largest member of our solar system, which is spherical in shape, and intensively hot gaseous matters are available in its atmosphere. And if you see the diameter of sun, it is 1.39 10 to the power 9 meter, and the average distance between the earth and the sun is around 1.495 into 10 to the power 11 meter. Now why I have mentioned here average distance? Because if you see the what we can say planetary motion of the earth around the sun, so we can say that the earth is continuously revolving around the sun in an elliptical orbit, where the sun is available at one focus or one foci. And if you see the distance between the earth and the sun, it is continuously varying. At some time you will found that there is a maximum distance between the earth and the sun, and at some location the distance is minimum. So if you calculate the distance within the 1 year of span, and if you take the average value, you will found that the value is around 1.495 into 10 to the power 11 meter. And the innermost region of the sun, which is nothing but the core, is having a very huge amount of temperature in the range of 8 into 10 to the power 6 Kelvin. And if you compare the density, it is around 100 times that of the water with a very high pressurized condition, around 109 atmosphere. So this is what about the basic facts related to the sun. And from this slide, you have to remember this point, that is the average distance between the earth and the sun is around 1.495 into 10 to the power 11 meter. Again, this fact we are going to utilize for the calculation of solar constant. So I want you to write down this constant value. The average distance between the earth and the sun is around 1.495 into 10 to the power 11 meters. लिख लिया आप लोगों ने?
हाँ सर.
Very good. So you have to remember 2 points which we are going to utilize for the calculation of solar constant. First one is the output power of sun, which is around 3.839 into 10 to the power 26 watt per year. And second is the average distance between the earth and the sun, which is nothing but 1.495 into 10 to the power 11 meters. Now if you see, whatever the energy which we receive on the surface of earth, it is only because of sun. So we can say that sun is nothing but the prime source of energy on the surface of earth. Now if you see the temperature on the surface of sun, it is in the range of 5000 to 6000 Kelvin. It is a very huge amount of temperature. Now one thing will click in our mind, that what is the reason behind that? What makes the surface of sun to achieve such a huge amount of temperature in the range of 5000 to 6000 Kelvin? कहने का मतलब ऐसा है कि जितना टेम्परेचर अर्थ के सेंटर में है उतना टेम्परेचर सन के सरफेस पे है. सो क्या रीजन है? व्हाट इज द रीजन बिहाइंड दैट? एंड द रीजन इज वेरी सिंपल, दैट इज न्यूक्लियर फ्यूजन रिएक्शन. It is continuously happening on the surface of sun, because of which it is capable to achieve such a huge amount of temperature in the range of 5000 to 6000. So what is that nuclear fusion reaction? So according to this nuclear fusion reaction, in which 4 hydrogen atoms are trying to combine to give 1 helium atom as an output, and the mass difference is going to be converted into energy. According to Einstein equation, if you apply, you will find that there is a mass difference which is equivalent to the energy. So how much amount of energy we are getting as an output per nuclear fusion reaction? So the output energy is around 26.7 mega electron volt. When I say mega, this factor unit to multiply it by 10 to the power plus 6. So because of this nuclear fusion reaction, where 4 hydrogen atoms are combined to form 1 helium atom, and the mass difference is converted into equivalent amount of energy, which is around 26.7 mega electron volt, is the reason to have a huge amount of temperature on the surface of sun. Are you getting my point?
Yes sir.
Okay, so I want you to write down this nuclear fusion reaction. Write down this: 4 hydrogen atoms are combined to give 1 helium atom, and the mass difference is converted into equivalent amount of energy, and the output is 26.7 mega electron volt of energy we are getting per nuclear reaction. सभी ने इक्वेशंस लिखना है. 4 hydrogen atoms are combined to give 1 helium atom, and the mass difference is converted into energy, which is 26.7 mega electron volt. नोट डाउन कर लिया?
हाँ सर.
Okay, good. Now representation of solar radiation. For example, if you are interested to represent solar radiation, so what are the different aspects which are conventionally used in the world, or you can say in the universe, to represent solar radiation? For example, if you have a current, so how you are going to identify whether the given quantity is current or not? Simply by its unit. For example, अगर मैंने एक 2 लिखा तो 2 indicates simply a number, but उसी के सामने if I write capital A, that indicate that this 2 indicate the value of you can say current, or you can say magnitude of current flowing through some circuit. In the same way, अगर मैंने 2 के आगे capital V लिखा तो that 2 P indicate that it is representing a potential difference, or you can say a volt or voltage. In the same way, there are some standard universally accepted units which are commonly used to represent the value of solar radiation, so that you should know कि अगर इन फ्यूचर मुझे सोलर रेडिएशन पे काम करना है तो कौन कौन से डिफरेंट यूनिट्स मेरे पास अवेलेबल है जिसके थ्रू मैं सोलर रेडिएशन का डेटा जो है वो रिप्रेजेंट कर सकता हूँ. सो बेसिकली इन जनरल two different terminologies are commonly used in the field of solar radiation to represent its magnitude. First one is called as irradiance and second one is called as irradiation. So you should know what is the meaning of irradiance and what is the meaning of irradiation. So irradiance is nothing but when we are trying to define the magnitude or when we are trying to represent the magnitude of solar radiation in terms of power density. That means watt per meter square. Then in that case, that representation of solar radiation is called as irradiance. कहने का मतलब ऐसा है कि जब आप सोलर रेडिएशन को पावर डेंसिटी के टर्म में रिप्रेजेंट करोगे, पावर डेंसिटी मतलब क्या है, उसका यूनिट रहेगा वाट पर मीटर स्क्वायर. सो वो केस में मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि वो जो टर्मिनोलॉजी है दैट इज कॉल्ड एज irradiance. Now what is the physical significance of this? When I say watt per meter square, that means with that specific 1 meter square of area we are trying to generate this much amount of power as an output. When I say कि एक particular surface का या फिर एक particular solar device का irradiance जो है 20 watt per meter square, इसका मतलब है कि वो 1 meter square की एरिया से मैं 20 watt का maximum power as an output जो है वो क्या कर सकता हूँ, generate कर सकता हूँ. So if you are trying to represent the magnitude of solar radiation in terms of say power density, then it is called as irradiance. In the same way, another aspect to represent solar radiation is nothing but irradiation. Now what is the meaning of irradiation? The term irradiation is nothing but when we are trying to measure or when we are trying to represent the magnitude of solar radiation in terms of energy density. When I say energy density, that means we need to represent the quantity or you can say magnitude of solar radiation in terms of energy, and the unit of energy is kilowatt hour. Being the domain of electrical engineering, we represent energy in terms of kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour is equivalent to 1 unit. So 1 kilowatt hour or you can say kilowatt hour per meter square indicate that we are trying to represent the magnitude of solar radiation in terms of energy density, which is known as irradiation. And in general, the irradiation is indicated by symbol capital H. So you should know or you should have a clear crystal difference between what is the meaning of irradiance and what is the meaning of irradiation. When I say irradiance, that means we are trying to represent the intensity of solar radiation in terms of power density, watt per meter square. Or you can use kilowatt per meter square depending upon the scale of magnitude of power. In the same way, when we are trying to represent the magnitude of solar radiation in terms of energy density, it may be watt hour per meter square or it may be kilowatt hour per meter square, then that terminology is known as radiation. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So I want you to write down these two definitions in your notebook. Write down the definition of irradiance and the definition of irradiation. Write down these two definitions. Irradiance, which is nothing but the measure of power density of sunlight on the surface of Earth, and it is always measured in watt per meter square. In the same way, we are having irradiation, which is nothing but the measure of energy density of sunlight on the surface of Earth, and it is represented in kilowatt hour per meter square. And the symbol which is commonly used to represent is capital H. So you have to remember these 2 points. तो इसके बाद जब भी हम लोग irradiance का टर्म यूज करेंगे तो बाय डिफॉल्ट आपको समझ में आना चाहिए कि irradiance इसका मतलब कि जो इंटेंसिटी है सोलर रेडिएशन का, दैट वी आर रिप्रेजेंटिंग इन पावर डेंसिटी. व्हेन आई से irradiation, that means we are utilizing the concept of energy density to represent the intensity of solar radiation, and the unit will be watt hour per meter square or kilowatt hour per meter square. लिख लिया आप लोगों ने?
Yes, sir.
सिर्फ स्क्रीनशॉट नहीं निकालना है, लिखना है. पता चला कि सिर्फ स्क्रीनशॉट निकालते चले गए. क्योंकि
हाँ
स्क्रीनशॉट
लिखा
निकालने
सर।
में मतलब नहीं है, क्योंकि बाय द एंड ऑफ दिस यूनिट आई विल डेफिनेटली गोइंग टू शेयर दिस पीपीटी विथ यू, क्योंकि पीपीटी बनाया ही आप लोगों के लिए तो आप ही के पास आएगा, बट आई वांट यू टू राइट डाउन, लिखोगे तो याद रहेगा. Then variation of irradiance on the surface of earth. Now from the title it is very clear that we are trying to represent how the irradiance, when I say irradiance, that means how the power density of solar radiation is going to vary on the surface of earth. So that representation is indicated with the help of this diagram. So on y-axis we have taken irradiance. Now it is very clear that when I say irradiance, that means we are representing the intensity of solar radiation in terms of power density. That's why the unit is watt per meter square. And on x-axis we have taken time, which indicates month in a year starting from January to then December, and the variation is something like this. And if you see this diagram very carefully, it is clearly indicating that the maximum value of irradiance on the surface of earth is around 1410 or 1420 watt per meter square, and the minimum possible value is around 1320 or 1330 watt per meter square, and the shape is something like this. Now the question is why the value is in this range, and second, why the shape is like this. दो क्वेश्चंस आपके दिमाग में आए होंगे, आई थिंक सो. आई डोंट नो आए है कि नहीं आए, बट डेफिनेटली आना चाहिए कि क्यों मैंने ऐसा ही कर्व ड्रॉ किया और क्यों यही रेंज सेलेक्ट किया है. तो इसका आंसर आपको कुछ समय बाद मिल जाएगा व्हेन वी आर डिस्कसिंग द कांसेप्ट ऑफ सोलर कांस्टेंट. So next topic which we are going to cover in this lecture is nothing but the concept of terrestrial and extraterrestrial radiation. So from this diagram it is very clear that, see here, what is the meaning of terrestrial radiation? The radiations which are available just above the earth's surface are called as terrestrial radiation, and the radiations which are available just above the earth's atmosphere, those radiations are called as extraterrestrial radiation. That means यहाँ पर जो भी आपको solar radiation मिल रहा है, these radiations are called as extraterrestrial radiations. And whatever the radiations which are available on the surface of earth, that means the radiations which we are actually utilizing for different applications, maybe say direct or say indirect, those radiations are called as terrestrial radiations. So the same definitions I have mentioned over here. Now the most important aspect of today's lecture is nothing but the concept of solar constant and how to calculate the value of solar constant. What is the meaning of solar constant, that we are going to learn. Now from this diagram, see this diagram very carefully. This is nothing but a sun, and we know that the output power of sun per year is around 3.839 into 10 to the power 26 watt. That means that much amount of power sun is continuously generating within a span of 1 year. And suppose if you are interested to calculate how much amount of power which we are receiving at some specific distance, and that distance is nothing but the average distance between the earth and the sun. So that factor we are calculating by using the concept of what? Solar constant. कहने का मतलब ऐसा है कि आपको पता है कि जो सन है वो 3.839 10 to the power 26 वाट का पावर जो है जनरेट कर रहा है पर ईयर. अब अगर मान लो आपको कैलकुलेट करना है कि उतने पावर में से कितना पावर एक पर्टिकुलर डिस्टेंस पे आ रहा है, और वो डिस्टेंस कितना आपने मेंटेन किया है? एवरेज डिस्टेंस बिटवीन द अर्थ एंड द सन. सो इन ऑर्डर टू कैलकुलेट कि वो टोटल पावर में से कितना पावर एवरेज डिस्टेंस बिटवीन द अर्थ एंड द सन तक है, सो वो फैक्टर को या फिर वो पर्टिकुलर वैल्यू को कैलकुलेट करने के लिए जो फैक्टर हम लोग यूज करेंगे, दैट फैक्टर इज कॉल्ड एज सोलर कांस्टेंट. आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In general, I can define solar constant is nothing but a factor with the help of which we are trying to calculate how much amount of power which is generated by a sun is receiving at a distance which is nothing but the average distance between the earth and the sun. So that power जो कि average distance between the earth and the sun के स्पैन में पहुंच रहा है, उसको कैलकुलेट करने के लिए जो भी फैक्टर आप यूज करोगे, that factor is nothing but solar constant. So technically we can define solar constant as the energy received from the sun per unit time on a unit area of surface perpendicular to the direction of propagation of radiation at the top of Earth atmosphere. So this is what the exact definition of what solar constant. So it is nothing but the energy which we are receiving from the sun per unit time, that is nothing but power, on a unit area of surface, that means at this location, which is perpendicular to direction of propagation of radiations, or you can say it is nothing but the average distance between the Earth and the sun. And according to World Radiation Center, which is nothing but WRC, the value of solar constant is around 1367 watt per meter square. That means जो भी पावर सन आपका जनरेट कर रहा है, उसका अगर आपको ये कैलकुलेशन करना है कि अर्थ और सन के एवरेज मीन डिस्टेंस पे कितना अमाउंट ऑफ पावर पहुंच रहा है, so how much amount of power which we are receiving at that distance location, it is around 1367 watt per meter square, and it is universally accepted value, constant value. So this you have to remember, that the value of solar constant is 1367 watt per meter square. Now the question is, why the value is 1367 watt per meter square? या ये 1367 watt per meter square आया कहाँ से? So to have the calculation for solar constant, let us imagine कि हमारे पास में एक sun है. So this indicate the sun, which is available at the center of a sphere. ठीक है, तो ये जो outer boundary आपको दिख रहा है, this is nothing but a sphere, and we know that sun radiate energy in the form of electromagnetic wave in all possible direction. So ये जो आपको arrows दिख रहा है, these are nothing but the electromagnetic radiations which are emitting by the sun continuously in all possible direction. And we know that the output power of sun is 3.839 into 10 to the power 23 kilowatt per year, or you can say 20 to the power 26 watt per year. Now our basic objective is to calculate कि ये जो value मेरे पास में available है, which is generating by the sun, इसमें से कितना amount of power मेरे average distance between the earth and sun पे मिल रहा है, जो कि मैंने आपको बताया कि it is around 1367 watt per meter square. So वो आया कहाँ से? So let us consider that कि ये जो span है, this span indicating the average distance between the earth and the sun. So here we have considered the earth, and this indicate the average distance between the earth and the sun. And we know that the average distance is nothing but 1.495 into 10 to the power 11 meters. So definitely यहाँ से हम लोगों को इतना तो आइडिया है कि जो सन है वो इतना अमाउंट ऑफ पावर जनरेट कर रहा है, और हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव है कि ये डिस्टेंस खत्म होने के बाद में कितना अमाउंट ऑफ पावर यहाँ पर अवेलेबल है. सो डेफिनेटली वी नीड टू राइट अ मैथमेटिकल रिलेशनशिप which indicate, or you can say we need to write a mathematical equation which indicate a relationship between the output power of sun, the average distance between the sun and the earth, and the solar constant. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है,
Yes,
तो यहाँ
sir.
से इतना तो क्लियर है कि अब हमें एक मैथमेटिकल इक्वेशन लिखना है या फाइंड आउट करना है जो कि तीन फैक्टर के बीच में रिलेशन देगा. कौन कौन से फैक्टर? सबसे पहला द आउटपुट पावर ऑफ द सन, then the average distance between the sun and the earth, and our solar constant. So that mathematical equation is something like this. So we can write solar constant multiplied by the area of sphere, which is nothing but the output power of sun. So here area of sphere is indirectly representing the average distance between the earth and the sun. So if you are interested to calculate the value of solar constant, we need to rearrange the terms in this mathematical equation. So we can write output power of sun divided by area of sphere is nothing but solar constant. Now we know that output power of sun is 3.839 10 to the power 26 watt, whole divided by area of sphere, which is nothing but 4 pi r square. So 4 is constant, pi is constant. Now here we are representing r. R is nothing but the average distance between the sun and the earth, and the distance is 1.495 into 10 to the power 11 and then square. So if you take calculator and if you solve this mathematical equation, you will get the value of solar constant as 1366.8657. So if you round up this value, you will get the value of solar constant as 1367 watt per meter square. So from this equation, it is very clear that the value of solar constant is why 1367 watt per meter square. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So this is what the basic what we can say philosophy behind solar constant, and why the value of solar constant is nothing but 1367 watt per meter square. So I can say that solar constant is nothing but a factor which provides a relationship between the output power of sun, which is generating per year and the average distance between the earth and the sun. That factor is called as solar constant, and according to World Radiation Center, the mathematical value of solar constant is 1367 watt per meter square. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes.
हाँ
हाँ
सर.
सर.
ठीक है. So I want you to draw this diagram, write down all the expressions which are indicating on this PPT, and in next lecture we are going to continue our syllabus. I think the next topic is relationship between solar constant and extraterrestrial radiation. So I want you to draw this. जो भी आपको स्क्रीन पे दिख रहा है सभी कुछ आपने ड्रॉ कर लेना है. Because we are having less than 1 minute, तो मीटिंग कभी भी क्लोज हो सकता है. रिकॉर्डिंग मैंने करके रखा है, तो डेफिनेटली ये रिकॉर्डिंग भी मैं आपको बाय द एंड ऑफ दिस लेक्चर शेयर कर दूंगा. तो आपने ड्रॉ कर लेना है, ठीक है ना?
हाँ सर.